Okay, my apologies. Took me a little longer to get on here than I thought. I'm sorry. Stop yelling at me. I'm only kidding. Anyway, quick, brief topic today. The Bills have been linked to two wide receivers for potential free agent candidates this offseason. And I would think that if either one of these moves were to happen, they would happen prior to the draft. That's my opinion. I don't think that a move like this will be made after the draft, because I think either one of these players, draft stock and draft capital, will be used to pick up either one of them. The most notable is, well, depends. Either one. We're talking Romeo Doubs and or Rashid Shaheed. Shaheed was traded at the trade deadline last year to the Seattle Seahawks from the New Orleans Saints. There's a lot of talk that the Saints at that time were potentially parting ways with both Shaheed and Olave. Ended up only one of them leaving town and headed to Seattle in Rashid Shaheed. Good for him, because he ended up obviously winning a Super Bowl. So that worked out, right, for Rashid Shaheed. That said, Romeo Doubs is the other name right now that is getting a lot of speculation that he and or Shaheed or both will be dealt to the Bills, and soon. So wanted to get into that a little bit, because according to Jeremy Fowler at ESPN, the Bills have been linked to wide receivers Romeo Doubs and Rashid Shaheed. So we're not making this up here. I'll show you what I mean by this and just give you a little bit of a glimpse as to where this is coming from here. And here we go. So again, Jeremy Fowler posted or presented this information to us just yesterday. I'm sorry. It was earlier today, I believe, actually. Early this morning. Rival teams expect Buffalo to strongly address wide receiver in the coming weeks, and multiple league executives are linking Rashid Shaheed or Romeo Doubs to the Bills. Also stating that Alec Pierce will most likely be a little bit too expensive for the Buffalo Bills. Alec Pierce, market value, Spot Track at least, is saying is upwards of, I believe, $24 million a year. And just so I'm not making things up, I'm actually going to double check myself, and we're gonna talk about this just so I'm clear on the difference, and I'll also show you what either one of Doubs or Shaheed, but mainly Doubs, would entail in the event that he becomes a Buffalo Bill. So here's Alec Pierce real quick, who is, as we can see, a restricted free agent in 2026. We see this right here. Last year made 3.6 plus, $500,000. Well, he didn't make that, but that was just cap money. So he made, wow, an $8,800 workout bonus. Look at that. And that's crazy. So he made $3.5 to $4 million last year. But let's see what they think to his market value. Okay, you know what? I think this has actually changed a bit. So Spot Track has Alec Pierce with a market value of wherever he lands, even if he stays in Indianapolis, of $20 million AAV. Now, they're saying that whoever should sign him or will sign him will most likely be somewhere, well, a 4-year deal. And here's some of his comps that have been signed for 3 or 4 year deals in the past when they were roughly the same age, other than Jacoby Myers that you see down here on the bottom, who was 29 years old when he just signed a 3-year deal. And I would say Jacksonville Jaguars are probably pretty happy about that, because he immediately extended once he went over to Jacksonville. All right, but let's get into the two names at hand. Mainly, though, as you can see by the thumbnail of this video, we're going to talk about Romeo Doubs. Between the two, I feel that Doubs is not only more realistic to come over to Buffalo, but I also feel that he's probably the better candidate, in my opinion. Now, this was not my original thought about these two gentlemen. I thought when I first saw this, you know what? I'm good. I even tweeted it. I said, you know what? I'm good on Doubs, but Shaheed is interesting. And the reason that I'm making this video right now is because after I put that post out, I immediately felt myself second guessing. And there were some folks that I trust and that I speak with often that were completely against what I was saying. So I did a little research, and within 10 minutes of watching some film of Romeo Doubs this past season, I realized very quickly that the man has got some serious talent and skill. And I'm going to show you some of what I was watching earlier. It didn't take me long. Now, first, I'm going to show you. First, let's talk about Romeo's numbers. Okay. He is not going to light the world on fire. I don't know where he goes, and I don't know that Romeo Doubs is set up to be a true X wide receiver one either, with 100+ receptions and 1,000, 1,200 yards a year. I don't think that that's what Romeo Doubs will be. I think he's more of a timely, explosive guy. He absolutely can get you first downs on third down when needed. He does get separation. He is quick off the line of scrimmage. His routes are quite crispy, if I must say so myself, or if I may say so. And he's got some strong hands. Quite honestly, he was he had 25% of all Green Bay's red zone targets went to Romeo Doubs last year in 2025. So he's also a red zone threat, even though he's not the biggest wide receiver who's ever played the sport. He still is 6'2", and he still is 200 pounds. I think sometimes, at least myself, I don't know about all of you, but I sometimes forget how big Doubs is because of that damn helmet that he wears, and I know it's for safety reasons, but that helmet makes him look small. The helmet takes up so much stinking space that it makes him look like a smaller human being that he actually is. And I truly believe that is it plays with your eyes. I really, really truthfully believe that helmet makes him look smaller than he is, 100%. And I'd be willing to get some kind of scientist or something to tell us if that could actually happen and play with our head, because I think it does. Romeo Doubs' big old helmet is about this big. It's 3 times the size of his head. It's one of those padded helmets. I forget what they call it. Easton, do you remember? No. Horse? I don't know. Big helmet. Try to maybe find out.
I watched a thing about him.
Okay.
He wears that because of doctors.
Yeah.
Doctors told him if he had so many concussions, if he gets one
right.
or two more, he might have
like brain damage. Okay.
Issues.
So East said that he watched some kind of small-time documentary on Romeo Doubs, and he says that he wears that helmet because doctors have told him that he's had enough concussions that if some more, 1 or 2 more become relevant or actually happen, it could be long-term side effects. So obviously he's trying to stay away from that. Now that is another piece of this. Because of his concussion record, so to speak, and history, one more of those, he might be done. He might be sidelined forever. But back to, that is a I want to say negative, is a con of Romeo Doubs, the potential of one more concussion ending his career. And you never know when that next and albeit last concussion could potentially happen. And we don't want to see that happen, but we always have to talk about this is what happens. There are pluses and minuses. And being that this is the cards that you are being dealt for episode 2. Romeo Doubs, that is a negative. It's called a guardian cap, by the way. Easton did a really good job finding that in about 20 seconds. These kids are better on the phones than I am. So your next hand of Buffalo poker is right here. 6'2", 204-pound Romeo. It looks like Izzy Doubs. I don't want to butcher that middle name. I already did it. So understand that the negatives with him off the rip are he wears his guardian cap because of the fact that he has had enough concussions already to this point in his life and his career that the doctors have told him, you better wear that dang thing because the next one might be the last one. So, Easton's saying it was only one concussion. I thought there was more than one, to be honest with you, but we'll double check that and we'll make sure. Yeah. But the last one was in November 2024. And it was a very serious concussion. So that is a real thing. Okay? That is a real thing. Now, let's get into his numbers. Before we get into the film, let's get into his numbers. This is baseline numbers. Okay? Box score type numbers. Nothing fancy just yet. We can get into the NFL next-gen stats, which I'll do. But really quick, 2025. Well, his whole career. 2022, 23, 24, and 25. Need not forget that I forgot to tell you he's 25 years old, well, in 322 days. So he will be 26 years old come the start of next NFL football season. He's got age on his side, to be honest with you, because some of the other trade candidates, the A.J. Browns of the world and the Mike Evans of the world, the names that have been thrown out there in the last few weeks for the Buffalo Bills, a lot of them have been much older. So youth is on his side. Last year, with Jordan Love under center, 16 games played, 15 starts, of course, 85 targets. So, like I said, this guy's not going to throw up 120 catches, okay? 55 receptions for 724 yards, which is a 13.2 yards per reception clip, 6 touchdowns. This is a number that I really like here. See this? First downs. 41 first downs. So out of his receptions, out of all of his receptions, 75% of his catches are first downs. This is what I meant when I said in the beginning, third downs could mean part of his juice. All right. For me, that is a must with whoever it is that the Bills sign or trade for. Third down efficiency and first downs moving the chains. I've said this for 6 months, even throughout the season. The Bills need a receiver that on 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10, the whole damn world, including the defense, and every single person in the stadium that day knows where that ball's being thrown. It's still thrown there, and the first down is still converted. That is the receiver that the Buffalo Bills need. Whoever that may be is not up to me. But whoever that may be needs to be what the Bills go get. So 41 first downs on 55 catches, 6 touchdowns. Like I said, he received 25% of all Green Bay Packers red zone targets. That's a big number to me. And that's including tight end duo in Green Bay. It's pretty legit. I know the one went down the ACL, but the tight ends are obviously usually geared and they usually pop up in the red zone more so than other areas of the field. And 25% is including those tight ends out there in Green Bay. Success rate 58.8, which is his second best year in his career. 48-yard long, okay, nothing crazy there. So this is where we get kind of, for the money that he's potentially going to be due and owed, he only averages 3 catches a game, if we're rounding. A little bit over 3 catches for 63 yards. Is that good enough? I don't know. hop over here for just 1 second. Here's Romeo. All right. Again, same unrestricted free agent. Another enormous workout bonus here, just like Shaheed. But this man has barely even tasted NFL money, only for 1 year. I mean, obviously, these base salaries are huge for the average person. But this man has not really tasted NFL money yet in his life. 2026 is going to be the first year, and I'll tell you why. Let's take a look. Spot Track, who's extremely reliable. You guys that follow me here, you all know that I like to use Spot Track, and I use them often, and they've been really good to me. They've been really good to me. They've been pretty damn close a lot. Shows Romeo Doubs getting a 4-year deal worth $48 million this offseason, prior to the start of the 2026 season. Christian Kirk got a 4-year, $72 million deal. He was the same age. So, here's the problem. I look at $12 million over 4 years, right? I look at a $50 million deal, and I see 3 catches and 45 yards a game. These aren't my cards, right? The game that we're playing here in the presentation that we have, the series that we're doing here at Cold Front is Buffalo Hold'em. You're supposed to decide. You're supposed to tell me what you're going to do with your hand. Are you going to fold? Are you going to check? Are you going to bet? Or are you going to go all in? I am just giving you the information. I told you what I felt, which was at first, I'm good on Doubs. I'm passing. Shaheed interests me. And then a half hour later, after I watched 20 minutes of film, changed my mind a little bit. Now, I'm throwing it all out there. The information is for you to decide. Like I said, what say you? What do you think? Looking at these numbers, and then I'm going to show you some film, but getting back here to the numbers, is this worth $12 million a year for 4 years? Which is what Spot Track thinks Romeo Doubs will be. Really quick, I'm going to get into some of these comments. Brian Webster, I apologize, my friend. I know this was from earlier. My bad. Originally it was 8:30. I pushed it to 9. I hope you saw that, and then I got on at like 9:05. We were watching a movie, doing some things as family. Sorry. The Oxus, how are you, brother? Signing Doubs would be a solid move by the Bills, barring injury. He would be a good, reliable target for Allen. I tend to agree with you. I'm going to show you some reasons why with the film. I'm just hung up on the money and the actual production. That's all. Yeah, which is a lot, but that's all. Brian Webster, I think we should not get him because I'll be making collections. I think we should get Jalen Waddle and Tiger Hill, Jalen Waddle. Oh, Jalen Waddle. Yes. Jalen Waddle is certainly a potential candidate still. But he would be a trade candidate, not free agent, right? Because Jalen Waddle is still under contract with Miami Dolphins, so they would have to trade for him. Romeo Doubs, however, is an unrestricted free agent this offseason. So technically, he's not an employee of any NFL team at the moment. That would be the difference at this moment in time. However, anything can happen. And I think come March 11th, the floodgates are going to open up between free agency and trades. And honestly, I think come March 11th, the free agency signings will start also. The trades will start also because the new year of the NFL starts. And when free agency opens up, everything pretty much starts to roll at that moment in time. Brian, I think we should get Brandon Ayuk from the 49ers. Sorry, Brian, but I couldn't disagree more. Keep Brandon Ayuk on the West Coast, and I don't want to see him anywhere close to a Buffalo Bills uniform. The man is just about as bad. Not quite. He's getting there, and in his career, well, his off-season career, or off the field career is not over. He's really close to Antonio Brown, and is losing his mind, literally. Yes, it's 10 to 12 million per year would be fair for Doubs. Yeah, closer to 10 given concussion propensity. I'm with you, and that's what I'm kind of worried about is getting too much and thinking that that's the answer. For Buffalo Bill fans and the Bills Mafia, I don't think Romeo Doubs is a bad player to add to this roster. Please don't take it this way. I think immediately he would be a wide receiver 2 on this team. I don't think he's as consistently solid as Khalil Shakir. That's my gut. A little bit of a different ceiling in terms of their traits and their characteristics. But obviously, we know what Khalil means to this offense, and he's still my number 1 by quite a bit, even if Doubs were to get picked up. Alec Pierce will be much more dynamic, but he will cost, $20 million. We pulled that up. I don't know if you were in here, Deoxys, but we pulled that up, and the market value is just about $20 million a year. Can we get Travis Kelce from the Chiefs and Brandon from the Cleveland Browns and Myles Garrett? Travis Kelce, there's no way in hell Travis Kelce would play for the Buffalo Bills. He might not even be playing in the NFL at all next year. I don't think he's even come out with his answer whether he will be playing or not. I think it's up in the question. Brandon Ayuk, no. Myles Garrett, you'd have to give up probably 3 first-rounders for Myles Garrett, if Cleveland will even open conversation to that. Bills would need to save money for an edge player also if no Bosa. Oh, agreed. And I think that they can actually either get into the draft or free agent market, right? And this is the deal. So if you go for someone a little bit less expensive like a Doubs instead of one of these huge blockbuster names on the wide receiving front, and then you also add either double or triple dip potentially with a trade, and if not the trade, then get a Concepcion, for example, in the draft, then you can still have money that you should be creating with restructures and re-signings to go into free agent or trade for a big name, Hutchinson. I'm sorry, not Hutchinson, Hendrickson. Or a big-time trade for the possibility of a Max Crosby, what have you. Now, you'd probably have to give up your first-rounder this year, right? So that Concepcion idea would be out, into the toilet because he had a fantastic draft combine yesterday, my opinion. But, there's so much that can happen. Who knows? I think we should just re-sign Joey. But Brian, here, I'm almost agreeing with you because it's just about free money because his void contract tells us that we actually owe him money against the cap, not real cash anymore, but against the cap, even if he walks. So you might as well pay him and lose the void dead cap and make the money that you're paying him to be on the team be your cap hit versus him being on another team and it being your cap hit. Okay, let's get a little bit more into this. Well, we're almost over. Catch percentage. I like this. I like his catch percentage, 64.7. Almost going, well, it's gone up the last 2-3 years. So I like that. I know you guys know me that I like strong hands. I like a good win rate for my receivers. I don't like drop passes at all. I'm not with that. I know my guy Keon has had a few questionables. I just hate that. But Romeo Doubs is pretty solid. His hands are good. And he's a hands catcher as well. He's not just a body catcher. Which leads me into good segue there. Let's take a look at our guy, Romeo Doubs, some film. I don't know what. Trying to think of what which ones I want to do first here. Double back. Doubs. Okay, space, post hesitation. All right, I'm going to do the first one. Remove that. I need to add that. Okay, here we go. Let me bring this back to the beginning. All right. So for those of you that are new here, what I like to do is I will grab some screenshots of some film. Try to use the arrows and the circles to explain where the people are that I'm talking about and where I'm looking while I'm watching film. A little difficult, but I try to transpose it the best I can. So this is in, actually, I believe, might have been week 1, although it doesn't matter. This is against Detroit. All 3 of these clips are from this year, 2025. I did go back and watch a little bit from last year as well. Not much difference, to be quite frank with you, so that is good. I saw a lot of similarities when, if you look at the numbers, really stinking close. We're a 1/10 of a yard off in yards per reception, as I just showed you. 9 or so less receptions and 2 less touchdowns. So, you know, same guy. He's the same guy. Not showing any signs of any kind of deterioration or anything like that. So let's take a look. This bottom circle is Romeo Doubs here. You'll notice this is going to end up what looks, again, the call appears to me as if when these cornerbacks drop back or these defensive backs drop back, it looks to me like the Green Bay Packers are up against a cover 3, excuse me, a cover 3 scheme. They obviously have 2 tight ends in there. I'm going to stop this here. Notice what I was talking about, okay? Those red circles are now appear as if they have 1/3 of the field covered in the backfield or the defensive backfield. And here's Romeo Doubs on the bottom of your screen. I circled him, and we're going to watch him. There goes his helmet. And I'm going to stop this as this video plays on. I'm going to back it up and stop it again, because what I want you to focus on real fast is the speed to which he runs the first half of his route versus the second half of his route, okay? His burst of speed that goes from about 5th to 6th gear or 4th to 5th gear, right when he cuts, he goes into a different gear. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that this first half of his route, he's slowly jogging where he is right now in the 45-yard line. I'm just simply saying he's in about 3rd or 4th gear now, and the man has got an extra level when he then feels that he has his cornerback number 6 there in a position where he's about to break down in on what he thinks to be a comeback route or an inside dig. That's when Romeo Doubs sets on the afterburners and kicks it into another gear to blow past him and actually create more separation after his angle into this post pattern. So just focus in on that. Jog, 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 boom. Plants his left foot, create right there. He actually goes into another gear. It doesn't create much because his feet are so quick and his hips are quick for him to get a ton of separation, which is what he did. And this is a pretty simple route. This is not route mastery. But after he puts his left foot down, he creates more separation every 1.5 yards. He gets an additional yard of separation. Now, great ball by Jordan Love, of course. But he also, I want you to notice at the end, he goes up to the highest point to catch this football. He's 6'2". He's 6'2". He's probably 8 or so feet more, 8.5 feet in the air when he catches that football. That is a good deep post pattern that you didn't see much from the Buffalo Bills or anybody on that roster this year until the very end of the year when Brandon Cooks decided to become part of that offense. Because Brandon Cooks' first 2 games on the Buffalo Bills, they gave him a shot downfield, Josh Allen did, on the first drive of both games, into which he was open. He had separation, and he dropped the football twice. Good balls placed right where they needed to be. Good balls dropped by Brandon Cooks. Listen, might have been a little nervous, although he had a long career. I don't know what he'd be nervous about. Might have been wanting to do too much on his new scenario, new team. However, doesn't matter. The point is, we didn't see any of this, okay? And this is like the proverbial, it was a catch ball route. I will say that I believe that Romeo Doubs has stronger hands than Brandon Cooks, based on what I've been watching here. And I can't put all the clips that I've watched on this. It would take forever, which maybe one day we will do. If anybody wants it, you just ask. anybody that's following us, that follows me and pays attention to us, and if you enjoy this and you want even more in depth of what I like to do on my free time, although I don't have much, we can get into more. I'm going to show you 3 clips here that I love of Romeo Doubs. It's only 3 clips because, again, we don't have all that much time. If you want more, please just ask. On to number 2, or should we show it again? I don't think we need to do this. Let's go see. I think some people are popping up over here. Brian, what the Buffalo Bills go get the mad cap from the Steelers, DK Metcalf? I'm not down with DK Metcalf, I don't believe, for the amount of money, because he's owed $24 million against the cap in 2026. And then even more so in the next 2 years, I believe. I think it's too much. If we're going to do that, go after Justin Jefferson because it's about the same money. I do not think Crosby will go to the Bills. I really think he wants to be a Patriot, but Pats do not want to give up multiple first rounders. Yeah, I'm not saying I really don't want him to go to New England. But that's a lot to give up for anybody, isn't it? And the Patriots are still young. They need some wide receiver help, just like the Bills do. And their defense was pretty solid. It was, not that Max Crosby doesn't make anybody better, because he makes every team better. But I don't know if I would do that either. My understanding is that it's 2 first rounders. This is what the Raiders want: 2 first rounders and a legitimate player also. And then, obviously, if you give that up, then you have to eat, what was he, $40 million a year? Something insane, $38 million a year. No need yet. He's still under his first contract. This is a do or die year for Keon Coleman in his career. He needs to have a very good year in order to maintain a Buffalo Bill for his career, which, Brian, I know that you've been hanging with us for a little while. I would love more than anybody in the world, probably, to have Keon Coleman have a phenomenal year and then stay a Buffalo Bill for life. I love the man. I think he's fantastic. I'm going to get this out of the way so we can actually see these real quick. CF, this is really good. CF, what does that mean? CF. Diox, tell me what CF is, please. Yeah, cold front. Cold front. Got it. This is really good analysis when you show the vids. Oh, I appreciate that. This is better than the team on ESPN. Well, I hope someone notices this and you get hired by ESPN. Oh, geez. Oh my God, you're too nice. That would be that's not going to happen. But that'd be cool as hell, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be cool? You're like one of our first people, like literally first 5 people that we've been hanging with. And then someday, you see us on TV and you're like, I was that dude's like original OG. Yeah. Hey man, we're having a good time. But I appreciate that. Thank you. I love doing it too. I think you should re-sign Brandon Cooks to the Buffalo Bills. I do believe that they will. As a matter of fact, that's my gut. That was a catch. It was. That was absolutely a catch. You are not kidding. That's my opinion too. I really do think that was good. Should you re-sign all the players for the Buffalo? No. They're going to. I think they released Taylor Rapp immediately. It's a bundle of savings, releasing Taylor Rapp, and I think it's Curtis Samuel also. You release him and you save yourself. Between the two of them, it's like $15 million or so. It's a stupid number just to get rid of the two, and I think they both go. I like your channel. Can you send some merch out to me? If I had merch, I would have no problem, man. I don't have merch. I wish I did. At some point, we'll make some hats because I'm a hat freak, but we don't have it. I don't even know how it works. I don't even know where to begin. Yes, you're absolutely correct. All right, so let's move on. Next video, all right? I'm going to get rid of this one here. Remove that from the studio. I'm going to add the next video. We're going to go to a little bit different film clip. I think what I want to do is okay, here we go. In space or all right, I want to show you little Dobbs. I'm not saying, okay, just going to make this clear here first before we get into this clip. I'm not saying that the Bills face a whole hell of a lot of zone compared to other football teams, meaning the Bills offense, because there was a point, and actually there were multiple points this year, that our illustrious primetime media made it a point, excuse me, to tell all of us how embarrassing the Buffalo Bills wide receiver core or room was when on third and very long, defenses would play man-to-man defense, and not only just man-to-man, a tight at the line of scrimmage, jamming almost a cover zero style man-to-man with almost no safety help, or maybe a single high look as far as the safeties are concerned. Our media loved to tell us how horrible our wide receiving crew was this past year. So I'm not saying that the Bills faced more zone than any or every other team. But I will tell you this, that if the Bills do what everyone wants them to do, including myself, and they make some big-time moves in the wide receiver area, and we get some man beaters and some separation creators and or deep threats, we're going to see more zone coverage than we have. I mean, it's just what it is, because if you have separators, they destroy man, and it gets really, really difficult for teams to risk playing man defense. Anyway, let's get into this. So you see Romeo Doubs up here, okay, top of the screen. They only have a one tight end look this time, but it's a 21 personnel. So it's not a big spread out offense. This looks a lot like the Bills. The Packers and the Bills have a lot of similarities. So this is another pro potentially for Doubs when you guys are making your decision here on this hand that I'm dealing you with Romeo Doubs, and you're going to have to tell me what you're going to do with it. Fold, bet, check, or go all in. With our new series, this is only episode 2. This is going to come into play. The Packers look very similar to the Buffalo Bills. So he's up top. Little motion. What does that look like? Oh, okay. Play action to the right. What do we have here? I want to show you one high safety look. Okay. Man-to-man defense. This is what I'm talking about. You got man-to-man with one deep safety. Again, Doubs is on the top of the screen. Pay attention to that. This is 3rd and 9, by the way, I believe. I'm showing this to represent man-to-man on both sides. There's just a jumble of nonsense in the middle. One of these linebackers is actually trying to pick up the running back who's slipping out of here. Yeah, you'll see that. And look at what Doubs does. 3rd and long. I believe this was, like I said, man-to-man, wins off of the line of scrimmage. I think I'm going to show you this right here. I stopped. Look at he wins off of the line of scrimmage. Talk about separators. Let's keep going. This is what I'm representing here. That's a yard and a half, right? Off the rip. Even more, he's got inside leverage. If he was running a little slant or an in, he'd be wide open, but he's not, so he maintains and continues with his route. This is how good he is. He is clearly on the inside of this football field. Leverage. He's beating his cornerback. Jordan Love is looking right at him, where he could have been open if he maintains it was inside. And then Jordan Love anticipates the break and throws to that second arrow that I'm showing you, who Romeo Doubs is able to, not only when he's winning on the inside, get his defender's hips turned to the tune of then breaking outside, beating him, and creating 4 yards of separation. This stuff excites the hell out of me, I got to be honest. Let's watch this again. At this moment in time, he literally is winning on the inside. He's winning on the inside, meaning he is inside the defender. That defender can do nothing to him if he continued. And now he breaks to the outside. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to throw, I think I throw another little circle, a red circle out here in the middle of the empty field towards the sideline, which is a flag, by the way. Because right there when he breaks to the outside, not only does he create that 4 yards of separation inside to outside, but he also gets held. And he creates a flag for himself. You'll see it. That's about where the flag goes, I think, is what I was doing there with that arrow I just drew. Yeah. Okay. Huge separation, catches the football, and then the flag comes into play. So that's a man beater, folks. That is a man beater. I mean, that's a legit route. Quick feet. Immediately won off the line of scrimmage. Had leverage. And I love when receivers are winning, where they could break their route off as soon as they win. And then they break the route into the extension of the route and then win the opposite way. So he won to the inside immediately. Now, maybe he felt that he was just given that, and that's the way the defensive back might have been playing, his outside shoulder, which if we go back, we could probably tell if I have him at the line of scrimmage. Do I before they – yeah, he is on his outside shoulder. So he might know, yeah. And down on the bottom, he's on the inside. So, yes, he's pushing him to the inside of the field. That's fine. Still, he takes it and he wins. He takes it and he wins up front, off the line. Takes it and he wins off the line. And then he re-breaks and gets outside. And the ball was thrown behind him. Listen, if he didn't have 5 yards of separation, that ball would have been picked. That ball would have been picked. So anyway, another phenomenal example of Romeo Doubs getting himself open on man-to-man coverage. You can't argue with that. I don't care who you are. Sorry. And I know these are highlights, right? I'm only showing three clips, so I can't show everything. There's some negatives out there. I did with Keon last week for the first episode, and I can find some from Romeo, but I had to do this in a quick period of time today. It's Sunday, and we had other stuff we were doing too. And I'll continue. Like I said, if you want more, you want it more in depth, I'm all in. But these are the good. These are the good that we had come up with. So, all right, we're going to take some questions now before we get into clip number 3. I got to get rid of this then again. There we go. Type who should the Buffalo Bills tight end in quarterback and wide receiver in the live chat. Who do you think should I go for free agency? I think that was meant for everybody else. Cold front, right? I think you were answering my question. What is CF, right? Who are the Buffalo Bills cutting? Well, I told you what I thought. I don't know if you noticed that. Taylor Rapp and Curtis Samuel for sure. Mike Trey, what's up, baby? How are you, Michael? Yeah, man, you too. Thanks for hopping in on our second episode of Buffalo Hold'em. And what say you, Mike Trey, about Romeo Doubs? I don't know how long you've been in here. What do you think about this film? I mean, the guy shows off in tape. He's really hard. He's really hard to not like when you watch some of his film. I'm going to be honest. But the overall totality in terms of production, don't know if it's worth the 12-ish or so million that is supposed to be going his way this offseason. It's the only issue I have. I'm not saying, I actually like the guy, but this is for you guys to decide, and that's why we're doing this. Release Oliver, Dawson Knox, and Kincaid. What? No. None of them. The only one, the only one you could possibly think of getting rid of is Dawson Knox. And that's it. Unless Dalton Kincaid hurts himself in the offseason. Everybody hit the button and say, oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you. Well, I didn't even say it. We absolutely need everybody in here and everybody that's been around. Please like this video, share the video, tell everybody that you know, and subscribe to the channel immediately for all of your NFL and specifically Buffalo Bills updates, which we just started a new a new series here called Buffalo Hold'em. Every episode will be a new player, someone on the hot seat, someone that has void years, someone that might be a free agent, maybe a potential trade candidate that the Bills should or should not go after, try to re-sign, restructure, trade for, maybe draft, whatever. And I'm going to give you your hand, your cards, right? Your Hold'em hand. I'm going to give you film study like we're doing today, and when we've gone over statistics, we're going to break down some next-gen type stats as well for Romeo Doubs because he's this episode. And then you make your decision. You tell me what you would do. Would you fold? Would you check? Would you bet or would you go all in? And along with that, you also need to tell me who you want me to do next. Who is the next hand that you want to be dealt? for the Buffalo Bills. That's how we're doing this. This is only episode 2. Hope you're enjoying so far. We're going to get into our third clip here shortly after we take some of our third video of Romeo Doubs. It's the film room. Soon as we get into some more of these comments and questions and what have you. Hey, all who are watching, maybe give the video a like. Yes, Cold Front is new and would really appreciate it, but he does not ask for it. Just saying. Well, thank you. Yes, I'm new, no doubt. New to this, only a few months. We didn't even do the entire football season. Yeah, maybe I don't. I don't know. I'm not like a influencer, whatever, a creator, content creator. So I don't know when to ask, how to ask. I do it once in a while, and it usually I wait until somebody like Deoxys brings it up because I forget to say it. I'm just enjoying doing what we're doing. But thank you, Deoxys. You're always here for me, brother. Appreciate you. Can we get George Pickens? So yeah, listen to him. Subscribe, like the video, share it, tell everybody immediately. Can we get George Pickens from the Dallas Cowboys? No, because the Dallas Cowboys just franchise tagged him. I'm sorry. The Dallas Cowboys just franchise tagged George Pickens, which means it's a 1-year guaranteed money of the average of the top 5 paid players in the NFL at that position, wide receiver. However, he's an unrestricted franchise tag, which means that if another team does want to match that, they can, and I think George Pickens can accept that, in which case, though, then the Cowboys would receive what I believe is 2 first-round draft picks. So, and I think that comes from the team that matches that franchise tender in terms of money. So not only would you have to guarantee him top 5 monies, guaranteed monies, then you'd have to give up 2 first-rounders as well. I mean, maybe somebody will do it, but I don't know. Everybody go to bed. I don't know. I'm going to give you a donation. Well, I appreciate that, man. I don't even think I can take donations. I'm not quite there yet. I need more subscribers and watch hours. Like, we haven't been doing this for long enough, or we just haven't blown up. But yeah, I don't think you can. Thank you, though, Brian. I really appreciate that. Also, Dobbs made the safety come over the top for a potential flag route, which actually made the other receiver open. Yes. Are you talking about the second clip we just watched, Deoxys? You're absolutely correct. I mean, he is leveraging the entire defense. Like, he is garnering attention wherever he is on the football field, for sure. I think the Buffalo Bills shouldn't go get a safety. Okay. I will say this, Brian. My favorite player in the NFL draft for the Buffalo Bills this year is safety out of Oregon, Dylan Thieneman. So if he's not available, which I don't think he will be, sadly, based on what he just did 2 days ago at the Combine. I think he's a phenomenal player anyways, but I think he just did at the Combine, which was a 4.37 40 and fluid, open hips and extreme amount of flexibility in his bag drills. And I think he might even have done the gauntlet as well. Strong hand catching, no body catching, barely slowed down when he was running to receive balls. Like, almost looked a little receiver-esque, but he's a safety, and he's my prototypical safety and the best pairing for Cole Bishop in the draft. But I don't think he's going to last to pick number 26, unfortunately. And he might have. I think he was kind of like this, like maybe, maybe not, up until 2 days ago. I think he just made himself possibly top 15 picks because of 2 days ago. I hope not. I hope so. I hope everybody hates him, except for Brandon Bean. Hose deal is Jalen Waddle, the hose. He certainly can still be a Bill this offseason. I wouldn't surprise me, put it that way. It's all going in for him jobs. Sure. What do you go live stream on? How do you do live stream? Because I want to know how to live stream and I want to go and stuff. I play games on Discord. I got to be honest with you. It's this thing called StreamYard. And a buddy who I met via doing this. His name is Dan Mitchell. He's probably, I think, the biggest Buffalo Bills content creator as far as like overall subscribers and followers and stuff. Told me about this platform, and it's very easy. I just kind of log in and I link it to YouTube, and we're real close on TikTok to be able to, everything that you guys see here, TikTok followers will also be able to see. I need like 50 more subscribers over, follow, or whatever it is over there, and then we'll be good. But that's I know how to do. I don't even know what, I've heard of it. I don't even know what Discord is. And the donations thing, like super chats and stuff like that. Again, we're not quite there yet. I guess I would gladly accept it, but I can't. I don't know how to do it. We're not quite there yet. We should be, hopefully. Mike Trey, thanks for hanging. I think you're spot on. Doubs could def fit. Green Bay absolutely runs similar schemes, 100%. I don't know about the money either, though, but Doubs def has stronger hands than Cooks. Yes, for sure. It's all money. Now, free agency obviously is a little different than trading for somebody. Someone's a free agent. If you're the best negotiator on the planet, or you have a perfect scenario or a situation for that person, it's up to you to determine how much he will be willing to potentially sign and play, for you. So anything's up in the air. Maybe he wouldn't be 12 over or 12 per for 4, right? Maybe it's not a $50 million contract. That would be nice. The less it is, the better he looks to me. But remember now, this is not about me this evening. And as far as this series goes, this is about you. So speaking of you, we're going to get into our very next film sesh of Romeo Doubs. Now, realized that Romeo Doubs ran over, or just about, I think I actually have the number here. I don't want to misspeak. I think it was 103. I think he ran 103 routes as a slot receiver. 108 routes this 2025 Romeo Doubs ran in the slot out of 391 routes ran. Okay. So that is what, 25%-ish, 27% in the slot. So this man, 6'2", 208 pounds, deep threat, 13 plus yards per carry, or per reception. You knew what I meant. Plays kind of all over. Now, this ends up him being on the outside, but if you'll notice on this trips bunch here, he's kind of in the middle. He's in the slot. Just want to throw that out there because Joe Brady is quoted already this offseason saying that he wants Khalil Shakir to be playing kind of all over the place, and that he can and that he will. So if he's going to be playing inside and outside, then you're going to need another guy that can kind of do the same, right? And if you don't, maybe that's Keon Coleman. Maybe putting Keon Coleman, big body slot like Cold Front's been telling you, Joe Brady, for 2 years. Then maybe, that'll work out. But if it doesn't, then you're going to need to bring somebody else in, because I tell you who's not running the slot. Gabe Davis. Well, Gabe Davis is hurt. So Terrell Shavers, he's hurt also, but he's not running the slot. Brandon Cooks, maybe a little bit, but not really. He's just not. Palmer's probably not going to be going anywhere because of his contract, so he's not really a slot guy, although I guess he kind of could be, but I don't see him doing that. We'll need someone else. And this could, again, not up to me, this could be the answer. You guys decide. You're telling me. I'm just the dealer. Don't blame the dealer. I'm just giving you what I got. Anyway, let's get to it. So although he's in the slot here somewhat, kind of, they're going to go in motion. So no longer in the slot. 2-1. Here's Doubs. This is not the greatest play of all time. Okay? I'm pulling this up on purpose. The ball's on the 39-yard line. It's 2nd and 8. And he gets about 13 yards. Okay. I'm showing this because Here's the zone defense that to me had become so frustrating from time to time. And I almost want to say more often than not, but when defenses do not play man, or I'm sorry, play more man against you than they do everyone else, it's because of the fact that they're not threatened by your ability to beat man. Therefore, they just play man-to-man defense and you can't beat anybody. And you can't find anybody open. I'm not blaming the wide receivers. I'm just saying that's what, again, the mainstream media had been blowing down our throats for 6 months last year, almost. This is what happens when you beat man. You face more of this. And what we weren't able to do as often as I would have liked last year is pick zone defense apart. This almost seems like the Bills defense against anybody else that they were playing. A soft, pocketed, we're going to make sure we don't give up a huge play. I mean, you can see this. They have 1, 2, 3, 4. You can almost call it 5 defensive players that are 5, 10 yards and deeper downfield when there's only 2 receivers that are 10 yards and deeper downfield. Do you feel me here? They literally have 5 defenders that are 10 yards or further downfield, and there's only 2 receivers that are that same depth downfield. So obviously there's going to be open pockets, and this is a zone defense. Obviously there's going to be open pockets here, folks. Romeo Doubs, though, has showed me, this is just one example, but he showed me all day when I was watching film, that he can find that space. I mean, he read this pretty darn quickly, and it's not that hard to do because when you send a guy in motion and no one follows him, none of these defenders are running with him along the line of scrimmage on their side of the football, of course. When that happens, teams are only doing that to try to pick or decipher what type of defense is being run. If it was man, someone would be running alongside 13 here going in motion. But because no one did, and they might shift a little bit, that tells you they're in zone coverage because no one's just following the 13 wherever he goes. If they were, obviously, man defense. So everybody knows this now. So as soon as Dobbs breaks the line of scrimmage, you see he's kind of a little hesitant. He's not sprinting to a spot because he needs to understand and get a feel, although process this very quickly at the same time. He wants to get a feel of what type of coverage they're in and where that second line of defenders, i.e. linebackers, or a dropping defensive lineman that might be kind of disguising and coming back in coverage, are going to be, so he can find the open space to get Jordan Love, or in this case, Malik, I think, get the ball out quickly and find him. So what does he do? He initially lines up right behind this backer who's in front of him. And then he shifts. All he does is shift 2-3 yards because he goes, oh, shit, I'm not open. I just got to go 2 feet to my right. Okay, I'm actually showing this here. This gentleman is right in between him and the quarterback. Those are the only 2 defenders. There's the open pocket. With his curl hook route, he finds that opening really damn quickly. The quarterback, that's where he was. Dobbs, that's where he becomes. Not far of a difference, but he can feel that. And then I'm going to stop here. Let's go back to the catch. All right, let's get to that catch and stop. This is what I love as well. Khalil Shakir, who has been our number 1 receiver and most consistent receiver for, 5 years. He just got what he deserves with an extension this past offseason as well. So Khalil Shakir, got paid, which he absolutely deserves. But Khalil Shakir is top 5 in yards after yards after catch in the NFL for years and years and years. That's the best part of his game, let's be real. This would be nice to have another gentleman that can figure that out, because other than Khalil Shakir, our receivers were not yard after catch guys. The majority of our yard after catch, other than Khalil Shakir, was Dalton Kincaid and the running backs. And I mean that in all sincerity. It was really not our receivers, Coleman, Shavers, Palmer. Let's go through them all, Curtis Samuel, no. All year, basically, no. Elijah Moore, no. We didn't have yard after the catch, literally, like all year. So this would be nice and refreshing to have a a second guy really getting after it. So that, is kind of nice. And here we go. After this catch, he immediately understands. He actually runs backwards to then get around the corner and set up his angle to pick up 13 yards as a whole. Another example of Romeo Doubs and what he can represent. This is not me. It's not my job this week for this video. This is your job to determine if you like him or not. Last thing I'm going to do before we let you go for this episode here is I'm going to pull up and we're going to go over his next gen statistics, which you may or may not like. We went through the baseline box score stuff. Now we'll go through some next gen things and see what you feel. This is something that I don't necessarily want, or I can't, share the screen because it's paid for subscription and they don't really love that. So let me season. Okay, why is this not working? This doesn't make any sense. Oh, well, that's because that's passing. Romeo Doubs did not have any pass attempts. I can tell you that, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so we went through his yards and his catches and his touchdowns, his yards per catch, his catch percentage. Here's okay, catch rate over expected, 7.2%. So what that means is his 64.7% catch rate, 64.7% of the balls that are thrown his way, he catches, was 7% higher than almost what should have been, meaning 7% of the throws that he caught or that were thrown his way, he actually made a reception when he probably shouldn't have, according to next-gen statistics. Strong hands, athleticism, anticipation, those sorts of things play into catch rate being higher than what is expected. Receiving EPA, 27.6 plus 27.6. That's good. Yard after catch, 180 yards. Okay, out of his 724 total. Again, let's do the math on that. 180 divided by 724. That's 25% of all his yards are yards after the catch. Not going to complain with that. Air yards per target, 12.8. That's kind of that's kind of a stretch because I think Khalil Shakir's was, Lord knows. Let's actually take a look at that. I knew it at one point, and I don't know if I want to know it, but let's see. Okay, Doubs was over 12, right? Or was it 13? It was 12.8, I think, air yards per target. Khalil Shakir's was 3.5. Khalil Shakir averaged 3.5 yards. Oh, my word. Per target, the ball was in the air 3.5 yards on average. I'm sorry. His target on average was 3.5 yards past the line of scrimmage. That's how many screens that he ran behind the line of scrimmage. Anyway, Khalil Shakir had 533 yards after the catch out of his 719 yards. Whoa. Wow, by the way. Holy moly. All right, let's get back to Doubs, though. I want to get back to Doubs. How do I find this man? I want to see what his totals are, like his rankings here. So bear with me while we look at this, while I look at this together. Romeo Doubs, 43rd in total yards. Yards per reception are probably pretty well, I got to make this qualified receivers because Jameis Winston led the NFL in yards per reception. It's kind of crazy. So yards per reception. Wow. Alec Pierce, we were talking about him earlier. 21.3. Number 2 was Christian Watson at 17.5. Jeez. Tucker Kraft, number 8. 15.3. Doubs was 13.2, I believe. It's going to be on page 2 here. Yeah, 36th in the NFL, yards per reception. Yards. Let's take a look at this. Catch rate over Kayshon Boutte. Number 1. Romeo Doubs, number 22 in the NFL for the highest catch rate over expected. That's a pretty big statistic to me. If you couldn't tell. '17th in air yards per target. Yeah, I mean, average separation on target was 2.3, which this is kind of, it gets blown out of proportion because all the running backs are in here and they have massive yards of separation on the target when they're targeted. Let's get back some comments here. Oh, I think we already hit that. I know this is off topic. Okay, but I wonder if the NFL will ever look to some of these YouTubers as potential hires. I don't know. Some of you guys are really smart and great at breaking down film. Well, I appreciate it, Mike, Trey. Really. Thank you very much. You and Deoxys, I appreciate you guys. And doubt it only because of the fact that the people that they have on these morning shows and all this other stuff, predominantly at least, are ex-players and people know their names. So they immediately have clout, obviously, when they show up on set, Hall of Famer, Kurt Warner, whatever. I'm not begrudging Kurt Warner, although I disagree with a lot of what he says. I actually got kind of into an argument about something that he said on Twitter. But yeah, maybe. I mean, that'd be cool if they did start to do that, right? Best defense, Deoxys, speaking of him, best defense Buffalo ever had was when Poyer and Hyde were patrolling the secondary. They should try to recapture that by drafting the Duck safeties. Oh, you're not kidding. You are not kidding. Can you send a link in the live chat you go live on? Oh, yeah. I mean, I'll show you the. Yeah, it's right here. That's all it is, right there. StreamYard.com. 150 XP I have. What does XP mean? I don't know. I think it's in the chat how often you chat within a live video. I think you get some kind of, I don't think it means anything. It's just something I really don't know. If I'm being honest. It doesn't come from me. I have no clue what it means. Just shows who like the top chatter is, I believe. Just pick someone in the live chat to follow and tell them you follow them and they'll follow you back. Okay. Yeah, I mean, sure. What's that for? What would that be for? Best channel on YouTube. This is appointment viewing when live. Thanks for doing the videos, Cold Front. Yeah, man, you're welcome. Peace to all. Sleep time. All right, good, brother. I'm about to wrap up here shortly too, but this is appointment viewing when live. Not sure what that means, but listen, I appreciate that, man. Really, thank you for the compliment. That's really nice of you. That's awesome. There's a lot of good channels out there. That much I know, and I watch them. I watch a lot of them. even the ones that I know, which I'm not a huge YouTube person all the time, but a lot of people I follow and pay attention to, and very, very smart people know what's going on, the ins and outs. So I appreciate you. Oh, my first message didn't show up. Okay. This means when you go live, stop everything else I'm doing and get in front of the piece. Oh, Jesus. Well, shoot, man. I don't want you to stop doing anything else. You're, important stuff, man. But listen, I appreciate it. That's humbling. Very, very much so. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. So listen to Deoxys, this guy, he knows what he's talking about. You got to trust him. Don't take it from me. Take it from Deoxys here. Whenever I'm on, you must immediately stop everything that you're doing and get in front of a computer. I appreciate it, brother. So Deoxys, I understand you're hitting it for the night, but give me who you want next. Give me who you want next for your cards, for your hand, and tell me what you would do. You can do it in the comments of the video, like the actual comments of the video. Maybe not these live comments, but the comments of the video once it gets posted after it's live. What you would do: check, bet, fold, or go all in for Romeo Doubs. And who do you feel the next hand should be for episode 3 on the new series we're doing? Ethan Davis, what's up, Ethan? Just hopping on to say I really enjoy your channel and content, just like everyone else here does. Nice seeing your community grow. I appreciate you, man. Yes, it's been a lot of fun, and we're slowly moving up a bit here and there, which is awesome. Yes, really enjoying it. And you, my friend, have been awesome as well. You've been here quite often, and we had a pretty good evening tonight. Going over Romeo Doubs and seeing what people thought of Romeo Doubs. And for episode 2 of Buffalo Hold'em, I need all your answers. We went over statistics. We went over some next-gen stuff. We went over box scores. We went over his contract and what his market value, what he will most likely garner or request in free agency this offseason. And then we obviously broke down some film and we showed a few examples of why I feel where his best traits are and his attributes show up and how they show up and what he can provide for whatever team that he plays for in 2026/27 season for the NFL. So I appreciate all of you. Let me get this last thing here. I'm just talking about the other platform you were talking about being live on initials. Oh, TikTok. Ball Guy 2 hosts foul parties. Then read second message after this. You'll hit 1K fast. Must have blocked me because I use it too. You think I blocked you? I used the TT platform name. Man, I hope I hope I didn't. I don't even know how to block anybody. I certainly don't think that I hope I didn't. I don't even know how to find out how I did. No YouTube, he says. Okay. So on you're saying on TikTok, go on. Oh, YouTube blocked it. I was talking about the other plans you were talking about being live on initial. Oh, is it because I said it? Ball Guy 2 hosts follow parties. Then read second message after this. Okay. I see what you're saying. So is that what you're saying that I should do? I think I'm at 950. And yeah, there's like these like rules and shit that I know that maybe I should or should not be saying things, and I don't know. I don't know all of that. Must they block me because I use the TikTok platform? Oh. I'm saying, okay. Okay, so Mike Trey. You're saying that you have a channel that you post stuff, and are you bald guy too? I think I'm following. I think I'm getting there. Picking up what you're putting down. Jackson, I would sign Doubs for $10 million, 4 years, not 12. Okay. I would cut Knox, Rapp, and Samuel. Yep. I mean, Rapp and Samuel, I'm so in. They're gone in my book. Draft or sign an edge and safety. Try to trade Oliver. Oh, baby. That's right. I think I remember you telling me this before. I'm getting sick to my stomach. Okay. You have a great night, brother. I appreciate you. We'll get into that. Who do you want me to do next? Episode 3. Who do you want me to do next? So you would sign. So I think he's signing Doubs for $10 million, 4 years. That's close to an all-in. I'm going to say that's a bet. So we have one bet. He's raising $10 million for 4 years. I don't think it's all in necessarily, but he's raising $10 million per year, $10 million AAV, 4 years. So $40 million over 4. Okay. But he's cutting Knox, Rapp, and Samuel to get to I mean, cutting Knox, Caleb Downs. Okay. All right, so we got one vote for Caleb Downs. All right, I'm hearing you. No, you too. Okay, Ethan. Anyway, no, hold on. I'm getting all messed up because I'm reading ahead. Okay, got you there. Thank you. And then he said Caleb Downs and trade up to get him. Okay. Maybe. All right, that's one vote for Caleb Downs for episode 3. Read original text. Okay, follow. Yeah. I'll follow you back. I'm not a ball guy. Got it. Gotcha. All right. So I read what you said, and I will do that for sure. Mike Trey, appreciate you. I got on late, Ethan says, but I'll be sure to rewatch later. I've been making renovation plans for my house, so didn't get on like a normally. Hey, man, no worries whatsoever. I appreciate you hopping on at all, and congratulations. Renovations in the house are always fantastic and extremely stressful. So good for you. I hope all goes well, and you deserve to do whatever you've been planning. Good luck as well. Appreciate everybody. Love all of yous. If you haven't yet and you're still on here, subscribe immediately, like the video, get me on the other platforms everywhere. See what I did there, Mike Trey. And we will talk to you soon for episode 3 of Buffalo Hold'em. Lastly, recap again. Romeo Doubs, unrestricted free agent. There has been ties saying that Buffalo Bills are extremely interested in Romeo Doubs and or one or the other, or maybe even both, Rashid Shaheed. I chose Romeo Doubs for episode 2 because I think that he makes more sense personally than Rashid Shaheed. That said, it took me up until today and watching some film to really think this way. My mind changed. I'm not saying we should go break the bank for him either. I'm just simply saying watch some film, understand his numbers, get into the metrics, how he plays, what his pros are, what his cons are. You make your decision. So episode 2, what will you do with the hands that you've been dealt? Romeo Doubs. Fold, check, bet, or go all in. Love all of you. Let me know who you want episode 3 to be. We will talk to you soon. Have a great night. And as always, go Bills. Cold front.